Hi friends, hope you guys are doing well, and I hope that you have followed all my previous lectures quite well. I'm really sorry, I'm extremely sorry that I could not make videos in past couple of days, or rather say couple of months. মই যোৱা কেইবাদিন ধৰিও কেইবামাহ ধৰিও মই তোমালোকৰ কাৰণে নতুন ভিডিঅ'জ বনাব পৰা নাই। But I am overwhelmed by the love and support that you people have shown. তোমালোকৰ প্ৰত্যেকটো কমেণ্টে মই পঢ়িছো. I have read all your comments. I have not been able to reply to all of your comments, but I must let you know that I have read all your comments. I do regularly read all your comments. One more thing that I'd like to mention here, that I have recently started an Instagram page also, Instagram account, to stay connected with you people, to be in regular communication and regular contact. ইউটিউবত কি হয়, কেতিয়াবা কমেণ্টবিলাক মিছ হৈ যায় বা কেতিয়াবা আমি কণ্টেক্টত থাকিবলৈ দিগদাৰ হয়। সেইকাৰণে মই এখন এটা নতুন ইনষ্টাগ্ৰাম হেণ্ডেল ষ্টাৰ্ট কৰিছোঁ, ছেইম নেম ছ'চিয়েল চায়েন্সেছ জাংচন নামৰ এটা ইনষ্টাগ্ৰাম হেণ্ডেল ষ্টাৰ্ট কৰিছোঁ, য'ত উই কেন বি কণ্টিনিউৱাছলি ইন কনভাৰচেশ্যন, ইন কণ্টেক্ট। মই কিবা যদি নতুন আপডেট আহিব লগা থাকে, নতুন ভিডিঅ'জ আহিব লগা থাকে, মই তাত কমেণ্ট কৰি দিব পাৰিম। তোমালোকৰ কিবা থাকিলে তোমালোকে তাত পোষ্ট কৰি বা মোক DM কৰিব পাৰিবা। One more thing, till now I was mostly focused on the history part of the syllabus of SEBA board, because I did not have access to materials regarding geography and political science and economics, because my homot bottoman nai, so bahutkhini bostu mor karone okhubidha hoy access koribo karone. But I must tell you all that recently I have got these two books also. This is geography for class 10, and this is political science and economics for class 10. So now I'm hoping to be able to make lectures for these subjects also, right? So for today's lecture, what we will do is that we will go back to the same pattern that we are continuing in terms of history. So history আমি first chapter to ইতিমধ্যে cover কৰিছিলো, but এতিয়া second chapter to কৰিব লাগিছিলে। but বহুত মই এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ কমেন্ট পাইছো বা এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ বহুত মেছেজেছ পাইছো বা ইমেইলো পাইছো, য'ত many of you have requested that I quickly and urgently start this chapter on agrarian protests and anti-national, anti-British movements in Assam, যেটো third chapter আছে, হেতুৰ ওপৰত এটা lecture সোনকালে বনাবৰ কাৰণে I have been getting too many requests. So what I have decided is that I will first start this third chapter. I will skip the second chapter for now, and then after we complete the third chapter, I will then again start the second chapter. Or if we get more and more comments regarding any other chapter or any other topics, তেতিয়া হলে আমি সেই topic to direct start কৰি দিম, ঠিক আছে? Because I am not your school teacher বা I am not your tuition teacher. I am here just to provide you help and guidance, ঠিক আছে? Just help and guidance. So কিবা যেনে ধৰণে তোমালোকৰ requirement হয়, whatever requirements you have, whatever chapters you want, whatever topics you want, you can mention them in comment sections. You can now, as I have started the Instagram page, you can mention it on Instagram also. So I can then selectively pick up those chapters depending upon your comments and then explain those to you. Necessarily mane 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 ke jabolo samoy nohoboge pare, right? So let us quickly begin this third chapter called of the history syllabus of your class 10 SEBA board, which is mostly concerned about anti-British uprisings or say peasant movements in Assam. So before we begin detail or systematic as it is provided in your book, which we will start in the next lecture, this lecture, let me give you a very brief story or very brief understanding about this thing called agrarian revolt or anti-British revolt in Assam, as I always do, right? So the very important consideration in terms of Assam is that Assam at those times, during till the time when British first arrived in Assam, 1826 Treaty of Yandabu হৈছিলে। তাৰ পাছত যেতিয়া ব্ৰিটিছে লাহে লাহে যেতিয়া ব্ৰিটিছ কলনিয়েল ইণ্টাৰেষ্টবিলাক যেতিয়া অসমত এষ্টাব্লিছ কৰা ষ্টাৰ্ট কৰিছিলে, ইট ইজ ভেৰি ভেৰি ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট টু কিপ ইন মাইণ্ড ডেট আছাম ৱাজ এন এগ্ৰেৰিয়ান ইকনমি। এগ্ৰেৰিয়ান ইকনমি ডিপেণ্ডেণ্ট অন এগ্ৰিকালচাৰ অফ প্ৰাইমেৰী ক্ৰপছ, ৰাইট? ডিউৰিং ডেট টাইম, টিল ডেট টাইম, এই যিটো টি প্লেণ্টেশ্যন যিবিলাক আমি আজি ডেটত দেখিবলৈ পাওঁ, আছাম ইজ ভেৰি famous or popular for tea plantation today. Or in the 20th century, Assam became very popular in terms of tea production or tea cultivation. But at that time, tea cultivation was not that popular or not that rampant in Assam. সেই সময়ত কি আছিলে যে পেডি মানে যিবোৰ চাউলৰ ধানৰ খেতি হৈছিলে, সেইটো এটা খুব কমন এটা খেতি আছিলে। তাত শালি ধান বা যিটো কোৱা হয় সেইবিলাক বস্তু খুব কমন আছিলে, because we see that Assam was under the rule of mostly the Ahom dynasty, right? Ahom dynasty was ruling in Assam at the time when British came and took over Assam. So Ahom was mostly an agrarian economy. Ahom was mostly an agrarian community. They had this idea of wet rice cultivation with them, right? So Assam was very much an agrarian economy. Plus there was cultivation of betel nut and opium and other things. So আমি যদি চাওঁ যে কালচাৰেলিও কিন্তু agrarian side to Assam is very, very inclined towards the agrarian side in terms of culture also. So we have concepts such as Bhogali Bihu, which is a festival of feasting and festival of eating. So all those things which were associated with cultivation were very much there for people of Assam, right? So it was very, very obvious that in a place like Assam, if there was to be some movement against the British rule or British government, then it would definitely have to be from the agrarian community, from the peasants, from the farmers. গতিকে এইটো very much এইটো কথা আমি জানিব লাগে যে very much inbuilt, এইটো মানে হ'বলগীয়া আছিলেই অসমত, যে অসম নিচিনা জেগাত যদি কিবা এটা প্ৰটেষ্ট হ'বলৈ হয় এণ্টি ব্ৰিটিছ আপৰাইজিং, তো গতিকে ফাৰ্মাৰ্ছৰ এটা বহুত যে ৰোল ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট থাকিব সেই কথাটো extra we don't need it don't need to read it any book or any textbook or any other things or any syllabus to tell us that agrarian revolts were there in Assam. Okay, it is very, very obvious that for a state like, for a place like Assam, if there was at all to be any movement or any protest against the British administration or British rule, it definitely had to be agrarian revolt in some way or the other. One more important thing to keep in mind is that these agrarian protests in the form of anti-British uprising in Assam began mostly towards the end of the 19th century, in the second half of the 19th century. That is to say that all these agrarian movements mostly started after the revolt of 1857 was suppressed, after the revolt of 1857 took place. So what was the reason behind it? The reason behind this was that till 1857, most of the movements in Assam, or say in India altogether, in the national level altogether, or in Assam in particular, these mobilizations that were taking place prior to 1857 was not done very much by agriculturists or farmers. What happened was that these mobilizations that were happening before, prior to 1857, was done, mostly by the nobles and the laureates and the officers and other people who were in the service sector, which were providing services to the British governments, or which were educated people, or which were learned people. At that time, farmers were not that aware that we need to protest against this particular regime, this particular British rule. So what happened was that prior to 1857, let's talk about precisely Assam now. Before 1857, the movements, the petitions and requests that were made to the British government was mostly done by babus, or say by the educated or literate class. Some of them very popular. One of them very popular was Maniram Dewan, which we will see in next lecture. We will see in detail about his way of revolting against the British administration. So what was happening was that people like them were mostly active till 1857 or prior to 1857. But after 1857, we see a new change came up. The movements started to come up from the masses, also from the agriculturists, from the farmers, from the public in general. Why was this? Why did it have to happen after 1857? 1857 or pasot enukwa ki hol je agriculturist ba common public ba সকলো মানুহ মাছ এটা পাৰ্টিচিপেশ্যন যে আৰম্ভ হ'বলগীয়া হ'ল, কিয় হ'ল সেইটো আমি ডিটেইলছত চাম. উই উইল সি ইট ইন গ্ৰেটাৰ ডিটেইল ইন দ্য নেক্সট লেকচাৰ, বাট লেট মি কুইকলি মেনশ্যন হিয়াৰ ডেট after 1857 revolt, the British government had to spend a great amount of money in suppressing the revolt of 1857. Bahut paisa kharas hol, they had to spend a lot of money in suppressing the 1857 revolt. As a result of it, what happened is that British were not Indians, right? They were colonial powers. They came to India to make profit. So now if they are spending money on suppressing a revolt by the Indians, it was obvious that they will recover it from the Indians only, right? So at that point of time in Assam, how could they recover this money, the waste that they wasted in 1857 revolt? They had to obviously do it from the farmers only, because Assam was mostly an agrarian economy, which I have already said. Ahomot jetia agriculture basically hoisile, agriculture was the only thing that people were engaged in mostly. So how do British government then recover their losses from Assam? By means of imposing taxes on farmers, right? Simple as that. So what British government did is that after 1857, to recover their expenses, to recover their losses, they started gradually imposing newer and newer taxes for the farmers. They started imposing tax on betel nut, they started imposing tax on consumption of opium, this, that. They started, imposing tax on land holdings, on holding of farms, etc., etc., etc. They started various new policies, and as a result of it, what happened that farmers began to realize that no, this is no more a threat to the educated or literate people or the middle class people or the service providers. It is now an imminent danger for us farmers, for us agriculturists, because now they have started to point fingers towards our way of, our mode of subsistence, our mode of survival. They have started pointing fingers to agricultural products. They have started pointing fingers to land holdings, etc., and all those things. So as a result of it, what happened is that agricultural movement started to take pace after 1857 revolt mostly. Kurukura small, there, here or there must have been, there may have been some protest or revolts here and there, but for your syllabus centric, which are the movements that are essential for your syllabus, the events such as Fulaguri Dhawa, events such as Pothorugat revolution, revolt, and all those things, they started systematically after 1857. So this is an important point. We will take it up in greater detail in the next chapter. One more essential element of these agrarian revolts or agrarian movements was that this was not based on any particular leadership cult. এনেকুৱা এটা কোনবা X leader বা কোনবা এজন Y leader বা কোনবা এজন Z leader যে তাৰ পৰা আসিলে ওলাই আহিছিলে তেনেকুৱা কোনো কথা নাই. Farmers organized themselves on their own. They organized themselves at about there's this very common, very important and very relevant concept called rice mill. We will see it in greater detail in next lecture, but now let me mention it to you very briefly. Rice mills were a group, small groups of farmers coming together and staging their revolt and staging their protest against the British administration. So what I want to say here is that there was no such one leader, as a particular X leader will lead. People say, for example, there was no Nelson Mandela to lead the farmers front and lead the farmers from the front, and other farmers would follow from behind. Everyone was united together. It was a spontaneous movement. It was a collective movement. It was a collective revolt. So as a result of it, the British government, if we see one particular leader, say Nelson Mandela is leading a particular revolt, we arrest Nelson Mandela and put him in jail, and the movement goes down gradually. But this was not there at that point of time. Everyone was a leader. Everyone had come forward on his own, and everyone was collectively staging their revolt and revolution. So these were some of the essential elements, essential features which were happening at that point of time in the early 19th century and the mid 19th century, which led to these agrarian movements or other anti-British movements that took place in Assam. Gradually we will see in subsequent lectures how these particular points are relevant for your examination and what kind of questions may be asked for your examination. So this is all for this lecture. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done it already. And yes, we also have an Instagram account now, so go and check it out by the same name, Social Sciences Junction. So stay tuned, take care, bye bye.